They attract bottom feeders. It's just freaking gargoyles is all I think about, like in the darkness, right?
Yeah.
Talk like just right and just
Yeah.
rubbing up against each other in a sewer somewhere. Hey guys, welcome back to I'm Rich.
Now
Now
what?
what? Yo, Mark, good to have you here, buddy. Bro, we're stirring the pot a little bit.
Tim, I'm telling you, man, it's working. We talked about this prior. We knew they're going to come out of the woodwork, but what's going on? What are you seeing?
it's happening. Oh, dude. I'll tell you what, the feedback on this podcast has been really, really like amazing, over the top positive. The amount of messages I've gotten of people saying, dude, this is desperately needed. This is so good. Listen to the first episode. It was amazing. Listen to the second episode. Oh my God. And there's people binge listening to our episodes now, which is really, really cool to see. And shows that there's a desperate need for this topic out there. And then at the same time, man, you get the trolls coming out and saying, stuff like, "Oh, I'm rich. I bet these guys aren't even rich." I get like, just nonsense type stuff that you get, and the haters. And so, what I'd like to do is address the haters in this episode. Let's talk a little bit about that. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
what
think
are
we
you
should.
seeing, and what are the conversations you're having around this?
Well, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, when you come out with a show that says I'm rich, now what? You're obviously, it's good marketing, right? And what we're doing is we want to talk to the people that are rich. Um, it's funny, we live in a world where people act like people don't know people are rich.
Mm-hmm.
And they know you're rich if you know it or not. And the truth is, they probably think you're more rich than you are. You know what I mean? So they've already created a narrative and a story. But I love you guys sending me text. Lots of you guys have sent me texts and emails, Tim and I both, and we share them back and forth. It gives us motivation. More importantly, it gives us insights to what you guys want to hear or what you don't want to hear. But we're not alone. Like, there's a lot of interesting topics to talk about as you're scaling. Like, everyone's teaching you how to go make money, but not very few people, if any, are teaching you how to maximize this life that we've built, who to talk to, what to talk about, how you deal with all these struggles and all this stuff. And the truth is, Tim and I still have haters. And that's probably, well, I believe that's a good thing. And I have a lot of empathy for these guys because that means they're not growing. I couldn't imagine, Tim, truthfully, being a growing man, talking down or talking negative on someone's post ever, let alone if they're
Ever,
like, it
even
just
if it's something you don't agree with.
yeah. It's like, why exhaust the energy and time? It shows me you have very little going on. It shows me that whatever you think you have going on, it's not as big as you think. And you're pissed you didn't come up with a show called I'm Rich Now What?
Mm-hmm.
No one above you ever will talk down, ever, because they're too busy doing and producing. It's amazing to me, and we've talked about this in behind the scenes, that individuals exist online to talk negative and say, to extract individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me go talk shit on them, and then people will pile into it, and then I'll extract leads and I'll teach them how I do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why would you want that client anyways?
Dude, think about how much of a bottom feeder the followers are who subscribe to that kind of stuff, right? Like when you put that type of content out, it's like, dude, I don't know, read any personal development book, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, any of these guys. Dude, the secret, right? The law of attraction. It's like whatever you put out is what you're going to attract. And if you want loyal followers or you want a loyal team, you should be loyal to your team. If you want people who are growth oriented, you need to be growth oriented, and then you attract growth oriented people into your life. If you go and put out a bunch of shit talking on people who are trying to make a positive impact in other people's lives, who have nothing to sell, who have no ulterior motives, right? Who just want a great community and want to talk about things that we've faced in our lives as we've grown businesses to tens of millions of dollars, and both of us are working on a billion dollar, two different $1 billion opportunities right now. It's like these are lessons that we're learning and conversations that we're having, and there's people who are further ahead of us that are either pouring into us or saying, make sure that you don't do this, right? Make sure that you do this and stay away from that. And it's like all we're trying to do is share good value. And somebody comes out of the woodwork and talks shit about us in order to try to just stir the pot of getting more followers. Like, think about what they attract. They attract bottom feeders. It's just like creatures dwelling, freaking gargoyles is all I think about, like in the darkness, right?
Yeah.
Talk like just right, and just rubbing up against each other in a sewer somewhere. That's what I think about when I think about the people that they attract. And imagine what that following is going to look like over the course of the next 2, 3, 4 years of just horrible human beings because they followed a horrible person. And dude, that whole karma thing is going to come back. So it'll be fascinating and fun to watch.
What I find fascinating too is that if you look at all their communication, they only talk negative about everything, but they don't talk negative.
Everybody.
It's like,
yep.
I'm positive, but everything you say is negative. They can fool very dumb people, by the way, thinking like that. It's almost like they're like, I don't even understand what it's called, but it's very strange to me that you say, I'm positive, I'm great, I'm doing all this stuff. I don't talk negative, but everything, they're talking negative about the government. They're talking negative about individuals like us. Like, how are we even in your brain rent free? Like, we're in your brain rent free. You understand how stupid that, you have families. Focus that energy on your family.
Yeah.
Focus that energy on you. Focus that energy on your clients. Why do you even care about what we're doing? Like one individual is like talking about like, oh, fake whatever. Like, dude, I've been in business 30 years almost. I've never had a real job I have receipts, by the way. I'm not just talking shit. I have receipts. Tim, you have receipts. We have receipts. And if we demand your receipts, you can't do it. You'll go hiding.
Yep.
Because that's how it works. They're cowards.
Yep.
They're very big online, but they're cowards in real life, guys. This is what you have to understand. People that true success, and you guys know this because you're listening to the show, Rich. I'm Rich Now What? We don't have to be loud. We just have to share. Like, we want to share. Tim and I, like, we're doing this. Like I said, we have nothing to sell. We genuinely want to build a community of high achievers doing amazing stuff. And by the way, everything we're sharing with you, I know it exists because you've had to deal with it to get to this level. There's no other way. You're not getting to a level where your friend from high school or someone local hasn't called you out and said something negative, and you're like, that's not me. Like, what are you talking about? You know who I am. But yet they have to say these things because it's their insecurities at the highest level. And then they get their crony buddy is like, yeah, man, that's what, yeah, you keep telling them. Like, what? Like, dude, it's almost, what's funny too, I hate even using this word because it's so stupid. Bullying. It's almost like social media bullying of people that say they hate bullying. It's like, well, you're doing the same silly stuff just as an adult. Like, what are you doing? By the way, I don't see it as bullying because I think you're just a coward trying to act like you're someone big and you're not. I get it's cool. I don't care. I literally spend zero time thinking about it. But like, I do know a lot of people could be way bigger if they didn't make moves based off of what other people might say. Right? Like, they're afraid to, like, I don't want to pull up in a nice car because if I do, I'm going to get judged. Well, just newsflash, 50% of the world hates you for who you are already. What you believe in, what you look like, where you live in the country. Like, they don't like you. So why am I trying to work so hard to please 50% of people don't like me? I don't care about them. They don't care about me, right? I want to be the best version of me. It doesn't matter what you like or don't like. Why can't I be inspired by what you're doing? Why wouldn't I like, yo, Tim, I love the show, man. Let me share this. As opposed to like, whatever people say, but it's interesting, Tim. As you know, we're in it day to day at this point.
Well, I think, I mean, what gives me good feeling and allows me to sleep at night is that it's not about me. And I know it's not about me, right? I know it's about them and their insecurities and them not feeling good about it. Like, I don't know, a decade ago, dude, I heard about crab mentality. Crab mentality is the idea and the analogy of how you catch crabs, right? If like I live in South Carolina, people go
Wait,
crabbing here all
what
the
kind of
time.
crabs? Are you talking crab fishing or what kind of crabs?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just want
I'm
to make
not talking
sure.
about the kind of crabs that you know about, Mark. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, my
But
friends told me about it about Cancun back in the
totally
day.
different. But dude, in order to catch crabs, dude, all you do is you take a cage and you lower it to the bottom of the ocean, put a little bit of bait in the middle of it, and all of a sudden the crabs come over from the floor and they crawl in, they keep on crawling in, they eat the bait. The other crabs see that and then they all follow, right? And it's this following mentality and they all get in there. And when the bait's all gone and the crabs realize that there's no more food to eat, they still stay inside this cage. And if any of the crabs are like, well, there's no more food, I'm just going to go and look for food elsewhere, and they start climbing up the wall, the other crabs who are so uncomfortable with the change in status quo will start pulling that crab down from the wall and to the point where it'll even rip their arms off or kill it.
Mm.
Why? Not because which again, it's an analogy for human beings, right? Human beings see each other and they see somebody aspiring to make a difference, wanting to make an impact, helping other people without an ulterior motive, right? Doing amazing things in their life. And when they see this change in status quo, they're not upset about that person. They're upset about how that person makes them feel to themselves, right? It turns the mirror in on the things that they're not achieving, the things that they didn't think of, the improvements they're not doing in their own life, right? The bottom dwellers that they're attracting. And so they have to go and talk smack about that person. It's not a reflection on you and me. It's a reflection on them and their insecurities and their inabilities in life. And as soon as I understood that concept, dude, I stopped caring about what other people thought. And dude, I care a lot about what other people thought when in my 20s. And then in my 30s, I was like, I don't care what other people think anymore. And then I turned 40 last year and I'm like, dude, nobody was ever thinking about me anyways, right? Unless they were trying to promote their own nonsense
Yeah.
and trying to piggyback on things that you and I might have built. And so, all of that to say, you got to stand guard at the entrance of your mind and you need to put people in different buckets, right? And everybody in my life goes in one of three buckets: increased association, decreased association, or disassociation. So, like, I used to, like, dude, I want people to like me, right? And if somebody talks smack to me, I would go and curl up in a ball in the corner and worry about it all day long. And then I
Yeah.
feel like I matured a little bit, and then I talk smack back to them and be like, "Oh yeah, well, you're probably living in your parents' basement and blah blah blah." And I'm like, dude, the ultimate maturity now is delete, block, move on with life. It still stings, right? For a minute or two, but I don't let it ruin an entire day. And so delete, block, move on with life. And that's the recurring thing for any of these haters. But going back to the three buckets: increased association, decreased association, disassociation. Increased association. People like you and me and the people that we hang out with are people we want to spend more time with. People who support our goals, support our ambitions, who are doing things that we want to be doing, who are further along than we are, who are pouring back in, who have similar values and achievement mindsets and want to be the best in all aspects of their life. Those are people I want to increase my association with. Decreased association, these are people that are usually they have the same last name as us, right? But they're not fully positive, or they can be a little bit draining, a little bit of an anchor once in a while. You got to see them at the holidays, but you can still reduce and decrease association with them just in moderation, hang out. And then disassociation are the clowns, right? The people who don't support you, don't care about, all they do is they're just negative. They're the crab mentality trying to drag you down. Dude, get rid of them. Life is way too short where delete, block, move on with life. I don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah. Dude, the thing is they can't get us out of their mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's crazy is some of these individuals we've actually helped many
Dude,
different
big
ways.
time. Wouldn't be anywhere near where they are today without
Many
us.
different ways. So
Mm-hmm.
I always think about that. It's like, what happened to you or why are you, you know, we evolve as humans. And in business, there will be things that don't work out as planned. That doesn't mean we're bad people or bad individuals. It's like called business. And there's receipts to all this stuff, by the way. It's not just talk. So I think, what's interesting to me is when I see human, I'm talking about grown men because I can relate to them. How a grown, like when I see them post stuff like that, they're using it because they're insecurities. But I also think about like their wife and their kids. I'm like, how how are you a man wanting to see another man that's helped you, by the way, to talk by the way, you're not giving anything constructive. It's all negative. There's
Mhm.
nothing like constructive inside of the messaging.
Yeah.
So like unless someone's building and being constructive criticism, by the way, we're all about constructive criticism, right? I'm cool with that. Cool. Like I'm not saying I'm the best at everything in any way, shape, or form. However, constructive versus being just a negative jerk just to try to get, by the way, they know we have traffic, so they have to go on our post. They don't post on their own, they post on our stuff. So they actually get eyeballs and then they pull in. The truth is, they're doing us a favor and don't even know. They're pulling in the people we don't want in our world, anyways. So
Yeah.
they're helping us create a disassociation bucket, anyways, by pulling them in, getting them recommenting on top of it and all that. It's like, cool, I know where you stand now. So it's interesting though. But what's happened is they're like teeny bopper girls that have to say over the top stuff to get more likes, more comments, and more extraction. That's how they're acting. They're not even living their life. They're living a fake life that they think it needs to look like to be able to build what they're trying to build. The problem
Hmm.
is they don't have anything. They're not building anything because you can't build with those kind of individuals. If they're constantly negative and all that, you're just building it on a how like quicksand.
Bro,
So
who would want to get in bed, like business wise? Who would ever want to partner with somebody like that? If you see how quickly someone turns on someone else that they've helped, right? That has helped them achieve things in their life
yeah,
and grown in many different ways. Imagine what they're going to do to a business partner. Imagine what like why would they treat you any differently? Why would anybody want to be in business with somebody like that? And it's remarkable to me that somebody can be so short-term minded that they care about the clicks and maybe it's let's blame it on social media. Let's hope that that's the negative thing that is influencing them of like the clicks and the likes and the comments. And it's like, by the way, we know roundabout that like when people call us out or if somebody's talking smack, dude, very rarely do they ever actually say our name, right? Because they're frigging cowards to even like come up with that. And
exactly.
uh, and so, anyways, I think about who are they attracting in their life, and I feel bad for what their life is going to look like in 2, 3, 5 years from now,
Yep.
knowing that what they're putting out is attracting a certain type of individual and a certain follower base that is just complete bottom feeders, and that's why I'm like, oh man, I got to get away from this. And even if what I also do is I look at like the negative comments or people who like or love or whatever, and I make sure that they're not associated with me in any way either. Like I'm unfriending them. A lot of them have friend requests out to me. Delete, remove those, and I don't even let them follow me on Instagram. I'll go onto my IG and be like, this person's got to go. Not allowed to follow me. Not allowed, dude. I
Yep.
don't need those people, and they don't deserve to jump on to my social media network and get the value that I'm giving, right? Because
Yep.
all they are negative Nancy's, man. And they're in the disassociation crowd and the disassociation bucket. They got to go.
Yeah, I think what the biggest takeaway is, guys, people are going to talk negative. Unfollow them. That's the cool thing about social media. If they do, just unfollow them, block them, whatever you need to do. Think about it for a nanosecond and just do it. Don't allow them in your ecosystem because it's not going to get better. You know what I mean? They're just actually going to like once they get your voice and you start barking back at them, they're in your head rent
Dude, that
free.
feeds them. Yeah.
They actually want that. That's how they communicate. It's like a bunch of little kids. It's so weird. I don't get it. So instead, simply just acknowledge it, delete it, and move on, and keep doing you. I think that's the biggest thing. Is it might work for weak people where they stop doing the work because someone says something negative, kind of like the bully of okay, I'm just going to go hide behind the box and do my own thing. No, dude, we're actually going to amplify our voice. We're going to help
Hmm.
more people, and you're actually going to help get the non-people we don't want to help out of our ecosystem, out of our way, so we can get in front of more quality people. So thank you for doing that. We appreciate it. Like you don't even know what you're doing because you're so short-sighted of the game that you don't even know what game you're playing, truthfully.
Hmm.
So here's the game they're playing. I think they're trying to play a money grab, dude. Because what's interesting, if you step back too,
100%. They're,
some of
they're
these
trying to
individuals,
promote
if you
their,
look at their association and if they're doing an event or promoting other people. They're promoting people that I know damn well that are not good people. Not just me, many people around them. And I'm like, it's almost like all these birds together flock together,
Hmm.
and it's like, yo, it's like, who's the king of the dipshits right here?
Hmm.
So it's be careful on who, like, what's that saying, Tim? Like, if you walk into a room and they're talking about the person that just walked out, guess who they're talking about next? You,
Yep.
when you walk out, right? Because that's just what they do. That's how they communicate. And don't buy into it. And if you are that person, don't be that person. Unwind that out of your brain. It does not serve you. Like, very, very rarely, or unless it's really bad and they did something super malicious, are we talking about anybody else? I'm not going to talk about another grown man. I'm going to talk about us, how we're growing, what we're working on, the good, the bad, the ugly, and just keep pushing forward. So I don't know, Tim. What else on that side?
No, I think, just put the energy towards something constructive, right? I think like I don't care if negative people don't like me. I don't care if bad people don't like me. I do care if good people don't like me, right? People that I
Yep.
respect, people that I care about, people that I love, and have built relationships with that I know are good people. If they get influenced in any way, right, by what somebody else is saying, I want to make sure that I clear the air with them. That's a big deal. But
Yes.
otherwise, dude, I don't hold on to it. I saw a cool analogy. It was a dude actually holding a glass of water, and he asks the class. He goes, "How much does this glass of water weigh?" And people say 8 ounces, 12 ounces, 16 ounces, whatever. He goes, "Well, it's all relative based on how long I actually hold it. The weight has nothing to do with the glass itself. What really matters is if I hold it for a moment and I put it down, it's almost no weight, right? Doesn't affect me or impact me in any way. If I hold it for an hour, my arm might get a little bit tired, right? It's heavier. If I hold it for the entire day, my arm might go completely numb. I might, might get stiff, might hurt for days and days and days on end because I kept on carrying the weight, right? I kept on holding the weight. And the idea is, dude, if somebody says some nonsense to you that you know is nonsense, right? You know it's not true. You know it's completely false. Don't hold on to it, right? Just kind of put it back down, let it go. You know, when you look in the mirror that you have good values, you do the right thing, even when nobody's looking, you lead with positivity, you lead with wanting to make an impact, paying things forward. Like, you know that you can sleep well at night because you are the only person you have to answer to. You don't have to answer these dickheads. Like dude,
Exactly.
forget these guys.
Yep. No, man, we're going to be better off with it. As you know, we laughed at about it and moved it forward, but we have receipts, so we're just going to keep doing us. And I just want you guys, as you're listening to the show, to know, just do you. Be positive, be constructive feedback. If you got it, like, we want to hear it. We're always here to win. There's nothing in our fiber or bones that's thinking about someone. By the way, I hope these guys succeed massively.
Yeah.
The problem is they can't in their brain because they're holding themselves back. They don't even know it. So it's like, I always just like, karma's a bitch, and it's true. It works both ways. So I genuinely want them to win bigger. It's hard for them to win bigger with where their mindset is and how they're acting. So I just know at the end of the day, man, we just got to keep our feet moving. And if you guys are having haters in your life, let us know. And I'd love to know how you handle it and what you guys go about and doing it. So we got big shows coming up. We got a lot of neat things to talk about. Keep sharing the show. Keep leaving those 5-star reviews. That helps us out a lot. Getting the voice out. If you got something that you liked or don't like, we didn't talk about yet, please shoot us a message. Let us know. We're here for you. Tim, anything else, buddy, before we roll out today?
No, man, you said it perfectly, right? Good luck. God bless the people that aren't supportive of you. Don't sweat it. Don't let them carry any more weight than they need to. Put it back down, and you focus on you. Keep your feet moving.
Yeah.
Surround yourself in positive rooms, right? Make sure you're hanging out with good people with good values. And by the way, in most of those rooms, you'll find that if the leader has good values, typically the people in the room will have good values, right? Or people who have been in the room for a long time, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, or longer. If they have values that you align with, typically the other people in the room will have those kinds of values. That's how I judge or determine the types of rooms that I want to be in. Is I look at the core values first. I realized the skills and the ideas and the technicalities of how to do different things can be taught in any different type of industry. But when I'm looking for a room, I'm looking for rooms with good core values. And so hopefully that helps, kind of keep things inside the lines for you. Hopefully this episode allows you to overcome any sort of haters, negativity that you might be facing in your life. And like Mark said, if you got other concepts, other ideas, things that you've done that really, really work for you, we'd love to hear and love to share. And again, use it as constructive feedback for other listeners in order to, just lead with value. So appreciate you guys being here. We'll see you guys next week on I'm Rich Now What?
Appreciate you guys.